Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbal.
Let's get it tipped off. How about it? Hail Varsity Radio on the road today. We are proudly here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino.
We're getting
Becky and Katie just came by and said hello.
We're getting pictures taken of us.
This is outstanding.
We're celebrities.
Nice to meet you, Jill. So we will get our shout outs. We will get you geared up. We have so many Nebraska fans here at the sports book here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. You're invited out. We've seen tons of Iowa State fans. We've seen lots and lots of Illinois fans. A few sad Jackrabbit fans, but they're making do as it is tournament time. It is outstanding to be on the road as we lead you into tip-off for Nebraska and, of course, A&M. Now, this is not horrible theater. We are placed between two ATMs. That's just how it goes. Purposefully. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark. We have been written out of Connor Clark's will when he becomes the next Jim Nance of play-by-play because Connor was contemplating going to Memphis. We said, brother, we got to have you.
Hey, when duty calls, you got to be there. So here we are.
But it should be noted, Connor's got something going today that he would not have had going in Memphis, and that's the Hail Varsity
to win a whole $37.
Yeah,
the Hail Varsity Radio parlay of the day.
Turning 5 into 37. I think that's a pretty good deal.
That's a win. We will check in with our friend Bill Hooks from the Morning Hookup. He'll be with us live from Beale Street. We were watching the Nebraska basketball Instagram, and they had one hell of a send-off for the Big Red as they head off to the arena for tip-off tonight, and it's going to be great. I want to tell you about your friends here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, and when you make your way here to Ameristar, instant win games with your friends at Penn Sports, Penn Cash Multipliers, and real easy to be a part of it when you download the Penn Play app, and your chance at $2,000 with Penn Cash. And so when we talk March sports viewing, right here with Ameristar and Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, you're invited out. We will get into the feel you have as a Nebraska fan tonight. Is it if they win or is it when they win? 489-1240. Numbers to get in, 800-825-5865. Can email the show, chris@hailvarsity.com, and find us on our different social media platforms and can watch the show that way. Like and subscribe, Hail Varsity YouTube. Also, our friends on Twitter at AM590, Omaha's ESPN. They'll have pregame coverage with Kent Pavelka, Jake Mielheisen coming up in about an hour. And also follow as the show streams till right before tip-off at HVarsity Radio for the Hail Varsity Twitter handle, KFOR Facebook and Twitter as well. Can find us on Twitter at Schmidt_radio, at Herbal Essence, at C_Clark_27.
If Nebraska wins today, I'll add another underscore to my handle.
You just go right to town.
C_Clark_2_7.
Yes.
There it is.
20. So the line is flipped. Nebraska was favored by a point and a half. It was as high as 3.5 points. Kind of dipped back down to 1.5 points. It is flipped to A&M now. The 1 point A&M favorite here as we're about an hour 45 from tip off. But we want your predictions.
Mm-hmm.
We want your predictions here. How does it go tonight for Nebraska? How you feeling as a Big Red fan? Does history change tonight for Husker basketball? Pretty awesome.
And my thoughts with that line flip. I think, are the beneficiary as we've played the Hail Varsity Radio parlay of the day. Nebraska money line over Texas A&M, Florida money line over Colorado, and then we have Wisconsin to cover a 5.5 point spread against James, Madison. That's the Hail Varsity Radio Parlay of the day. We'll keep you updated as the evening goes on there. But what changes a line in Vegas this late? It's somebody or
Big
a couple
red,
people
big
coming
red money.
coming in with big money. I think Nebraska got bought up early in the week. People bought into the Tominaga hype. What does Texas A&M have? Some oil money, some boosters with a lot of money.
Just ask Trev.
With the vested interest in Texas A&M, it wouldn't shock me if some Texas A&M fans came in, saw that line get up to 3.5, bought it back Texas A&M's way, and now we see a line flip. I hope Hail Varsity Radio, Schmitty, Connor, and myself are the beneficiaries tonight as part of this Hail Varsity Radio Parlay. We encourage you to come up to the Ameristar here in Council Bluffs while you're here and make a parlay. Do you want to tail the Hail Varsity Radio Parlay? That's ill-advised, but you can do it.
That's confidence. That's confidence right there. Coming up, a longtime Nebraska assistant coach. He has been to the dance. He is excited for Nebraska basketball. Jeff Smith with us in 15 minutes. Pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman, NBC Sports at 5. And then we will do an earlier Friday forecast with the infamous, the imaginary Klosbert. He is wearing red. He is make-believe. And we have some picks for tonight. But we're on the road here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. And let us head to Beale Street as we welcome in Bill Hooks from the Morning Hookup. Hooksy, you are right dead center in the middle of Beale Street. A lot of red there. Husker fans take it over. Memphis can watch this interview, not only hear it on the Hail Varsity YouTube channel, but Hooksy, you look loud and clear. You got your corn hat on. You got your red Nebraska quarter zip. How you feeling? How's the day been?
I got to tell you, fellas, it's pretty amazing down here. I've asked a lot of people, again, like we shouldn't take this for granted, but the sea of red has taken over Memphis. Every bar, every restaurant I've been to, so much red, so much optimism, and you can get this sense of a feeling that how much this means to Nebraska right now.
Bill Hooks live reporting from Beale Street. I assume, Hooksy, the road is blocked off. You're in the middle.
Yeah,
he's blocked.
It is. It is. I came out here because I'm like, I was inside. I'm at the, it's called the Rum Boogie Cafe, where they're hosting the Husker alumni event, and it's super busy. It's raining a little bit right now, so people are trying to find some cover. And I'm like, you know what? Let's go outside. Let's get a feeling of the people.
Pokesy, we've talked a lot this year about Nebraska's struggles on the road. There's a lot of red I see behind you. Give me a comparison. How much red compared to how much, what do you want to call it, burgundy are you seeing there? Does it feel like Lincoln South as the Husker men's basketball team posted on Twitter? Is it a home game?
Guys, I have to tell you, this is incredible. I've been here for, 24 hours or so far. I have not counted more than 15, maybe 20 A&M shirts in this entire place. This has got to be north of 90% Nebraska people. I talked to a few guys earlier that went to the first session, and they said there were more Husker fans in the first session than any other team in the first session.
That highlights Bill Hooks with us live in Memphis on Beale Street, Hail Varsity Radio at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino for a Friday road show. That underscores the importance. You hear about the fan base all the time, just how it is such an asset, and it's so appreciated by teams. Tiger Shark Diver has been either drinking or messing with peyote. I think I see Elvis is what Tiger Shark Diver says. But on a serious note, I mean, Nebraska fans are showing out. It's been 10 years. You're back in the tournament. We know the bowl trips. We know the sea of red that travels, even in expanded, longer road trip Big Ten play. But man, Nebraska fans sell out and show out for teams they love, and it's no different. And that's going to be a monster factor. That energy, right? Just think of the PBA Magic where you go 17-1 this year, and the energy and the extra juice. To coin a phrase against the opponent, that 12th man, Nebraska and Nebraska fans brought every year at every game at PBA, and that could loom large. Not that you need an extra shot in the arm for tournament time, but you know what, could help you get across the goal line tonight.
Yeah, guys, I got to tell you how much this means to people. Last night got in late, but I was out a little bit, and the people that were out, one, KP was out, Mule was out. I'm hanging out right now with former Huskers, Henry T. Buchanan right behind me, Jeff Reckaway, Bo Reed is in his route to hang out with us. Here we go. I got Wally Burn. I got guys everywhere that are making their trip back for this. And I have to ask you guys this. I thought about this, how much this means. You talk about a bowl trip. Is there any one person that this means more to than Kent Pavelka tonight?
No, I mean, Kent's seen it all. He's been to 8 of them. He is why a lot of us got into this industry, because they grew up listening to Kent paint the picture exquisitely well with the emotion and the investment. And yeah, I mean, KP is incredible. We love him. And I mean, Jake jokes about it when we talk to Muleheisen, but yeah, I mean, Kent's Apple Watch going to go gangster during warmups from a heart rate standpoint. So
go gangster.
I gotta tell you, last night I went to a bar called the Tin Cup. We were hanging out, and I'm like, what? Like, there was a group of people in the patio, and they were hovering around this table, and I'm like, is the Godfather? No, they're like, it's Kent Pavelka. He's sitting in the corner.
In a way.
Yes, it was.
Not and tell me what you want.
Yes, he was just sitting there, and people were around him. He's just like having a nice glass of water, and he's just telling stories. And it's just an amazing scene, what's going on here right now.
You can't refuse a Husker fan's request on the eve of an NCAA tournament game.
No.
So, Hooksy, we'll let you get back to
vodka Red Bulls,
whatever you're on. I love.
What are you drinking, Hooksy?
I'm sticking to the Crown and Waters. I need hydration, folks.
Crown and Water.
This is a marathon today. It started about 8:10 this morning. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
I love it. Bill Hooks with us from the Morning Hookup live on Beale Street. Nebraska A&M tips off just before 6. Prediction and give it to me. What happens tonight?
Here's what I think. Here's the deal. We all know that styles make fights, right? Obviously, we shoot the 3 well. They don't shoot it well. They know their misses. They like the offensive rebound. I like Nebraska tonight. I love this. Like, you're an 8 seed for a reason. On paper, you're a better team. You got a fight where it's an overachieving Nebraska Big Ten team, the 12 that finished 3rd. You got an underachieving Texas A&M team that was picked to win the SEC that didn't finish very well. I got Nebraska tonight. I love like an 85-79 victory for Nebraska. And, boy, I can't wait to report back from Beale Street tonight.
Well, I can't wait to hear from you. Bill Hooks, you give old Bo Reed a hug when you see him. Tell him Schmitty and Elijah say thanks and hello. Say what's up to T. And bring this thing home for Nebraska. And then just stay an extra couple of days. And let's do a little Sweet 16 party.
I love it, fellas. Hey, I appreciate you guys so much.
Hooksy, love you, brother. Thank you. There he goes, Bill Hooks, kissing the kiss of best of luck from Hooksy live on Beale Street. We're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Get here for your Penn Cash multipliers. You get that Penn Play app downloaded up here for Nebraska and A&M and all your college basketball madness here when it comes to making some money.
And we have an update from our friend Crew down in the desert down in Phoenix. He is fading the Hail Varsity Radio parlay of the day. He takes the Texas A&M money line. Maybe an emotional hedge bet there from Crew. He does tail the Wisconsin -5.5, and then he takes Danny Burke's advice and takes St. Mary's -6.5, but he's fading our pick with the Nebraska money line. So it's an interesting pick from Crew. One of us is going to be right. It's as simple as that.
Well, let's get our starting 5, our shout outs, all of you in the stream. We appreciate you checking us out on the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. The Snitley boys are in. Jeff in first, Brian second. Brian is right. It's a bad day to be a Busch Light in Memphis. It's going to be a bad day to be a Busch Light tomorrow if you're a Washington State or an Iowa State fan at CHI. So the Boulder Peace Treaty 2 the Snitley and Snitley law firm, Jeff and Brian. We were told to tell them that we got a chance to meet the Saunders County Peace Treaty. That is Brian and Dave. They are here in Council Bluffs at Ameristar. So that is incredible. Two worlds colliding. Moonbot, howdy nerds, says, what's up? Patrick is in. That is great to hear from Patrick. Jeff in at 5, which is big time. More shout outs. Justin checking in. KG is here. NASCAR Eric, ready for the send-off at the hotel. He checked in almost an hour ago. So NASCAR Eric is also in Memphis. Dion says, what's up? We got to shout out Dion for sure, as always. And more of your comments. Brandon also gets in. This is nice. Excited for what can become a big moment in time for Nebraska basketball. We'll dive in, but we'll take your predictions in the stream via email, chris@hailvarsity.com. Also, can dial us up, 800-825-5865, 489-1240, as Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. What's the mood if they win or when they win? Does Nebraska change history? Jeff Smith, longtime Nebraska assistant, on the way. It's Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Heard at Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Heard at Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Heard at Sports Bar and Grill.
Heard at Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more, behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Heard at Sports Bar and Grill.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with risk of serious side effects, call 402-520-8170.
Hey, it's Schmitty here. If you saw me at state basketball or the Big Ten tournament pregame shows, you know I'm a little bit slimmer. How'd I lose the weight? Simple. Lincoln Weight Loss. Many of us struggle to get rid of those extra pounds. I know I did. Until I found Lincoln Weight Loss.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. For your free consultation, call 402-520-8170 or online at lincolnweightloss.com. That's lincolnweightloss.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with your road show Friday. It's Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager. We're live here at the Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. And get up here and your chance at $2,000 in pen cash with your friends here at Ameristar. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark. We'll check in with Bill Dolman and Clausburn for our Friday forecast. We're taking care of you up to tip-off Nebraska and Texas A&M. A man who's been part of the dance for a lot of years, longtime assistant with Danny Nee, Hall of Fame coach with Lincoln Southeast, to talk Nebraska A&M. Jeff Smith with us. Coach Smith, thanks for taking and making some time. Big night for the Big Red. How are you?
Coach, do we have you?
Yes.
There we go. Oh, you probably can't hear them. Now go ahead, Schmitty.
Okay, that was a hell of a lead-in. Coach, it was wonderful, I promise.
I believe you.
Jeff Smith is with us. Coach, let's talk about history tonight. How are you feeling, first and foremost, going in? What do you think of this showdown?
Well, I almost feel bad for our teams now that go to the tournament because there's so much pressure on their shoulders. And Sam Hoiberg even mentioned it, said it wasn't going to be a factor, but you can't help but hear the noise of this, how important these opportunities are. And so that kind of makes everybody a little nervous. I'm relying on Fred though, and the staff. They've got tournament experience. Fred's played in every level and in every kind of tournament. I think Fred's going to give them a really good perspective of how to approach this game, and prepare them the right way. And so I'm relying on them. And I just really look for these first 4 minutes to be a feeling out period. And rely on our defense. I mean, rely on your transition defense early, rely on your help and trap situations, and make rebounding a war. Because those things you can control a little bit.
It's Coach Jeff Smith with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. And Coach, talk about that pressure that is on Nebraska tonight. You've been there, you've been on the sideline, you've been on the bench. What does that pressure feel like to actually be there and be in the moment?
Yeah, we went 4 years in a row, and each year that pressure kind of got worse because the expectations went up. And probably our best chance was the first year we went, but we didn't know it at the time. We were a little bit naive and hadn't been there, and the quicker you can. My thing is, you play hard, you play with enthusiasm, and try not to overthink the game. Go in and do what you do. I don't think Nebraska, especially offensively, if they can play to their averages, if they can get their 77, if they can, be around their 11 turnovers a game and kind of stay around their numbers, just nobody has to go out and score, 40. It'd be great if they would, but, they don't have to do that, the balance we have. And I think that takes away. But yes, you can feel that pressure when you walk on the floor and the lights are on, and it's a little different atmosphere, even than the Big Ten tournament. It's going to be a little different atmosphere because it's one and done time now, and that you're playing for the state and your school and your family, and that does, you can't help but have a little pressure. But like I said, I think Fred's going to help them deal with this pressure leading up to the game, and then hopefully a couple good plays happen in that first 4 minutes. Get some early stops, gain some confidence, and then settle in.
Coach, how does Nebraska stop a guy like Wade Taylor, and what defensive matchup would you like to see from Nebraska here tonight?
Yeah, I think you throw some different guys at him, but I think Bryce Williams early with his length, and really work to keep. I'd make him make a couple over a hand in the scouting report, and really work to keep him out of the paint. Be help ready. If they kick out for threes, I think you live with some of those early, unless they just happen to have a great shooting night, because that's not their strength. Their strength is getting to the rim, and so I think I like a bigger guy on him early, just to use his length, and then everybody help ready and keep him as much out of the paint as you can. Make him shoot over you. He's good though. I mean, he's got a great first step. He's a very confident player. He's their guy, and his game is getting into the paint.
Jeff Smith with us, longtime Nebraska assistant Hall of Fame coach with Southeast Hail Varsity Radio, previewing Nebraska and Texas A&M. Dancing time for the Big Red. Been a long 10 years in between. And you mentioned guard play for A&M. Coach, speak to what you've seen so far in the tournament from an officiating standpoint, and speak to what needs to happen tonight. And I ask that just because of the different styles and you know how physical the Big Ten has been. And I think it can really prepare Nebraska and other Big Ten teams well. It has done so this tournament, but you can't get whistled to death, I guess is what I'm asking. Are you worried about that tonight?
A little bit. I went up to Omaha yesterday and watched some very physical games, but each crew's different. I mean, each game was a little different. I think that's something that good players do and good staffs do. That first time out conversation might be, hey, we've gotten away with hand checks already, so don't be afraid to let's test it out a little bit and be a little more physical on their cuts. And if they've whistled a couple early, it's probably like you got to move your feet a little bit more and hands off quicker. And, you got to adjust quick. But I saw a lot of physicality yesterday. I thought Illinois was very physical. That game was a very physical game. And by the way, watching Illinois live actually gives me confidence if we can play with them, like we did at their place. And, for the first half of that tournament, they are extremely talented and physical and athletic. And if they really play, they could go a long ways in this tournament. But I got off track a little bit there, but it gave me some confidence on Nebraska's ability to play with anybody.
Coach, if this is a physical game tonight, if the refs let them play, what does that mean for Texas A&M's offensive rebounding? Obviously, I think Nebraska, being a Big Ten school, wants it to be a little bit more physical. That's their brand of defense. But what does that mean for Texas A&M with how much they like to get out and get on the offensive glass?
If it's a physical game, I want to put the ball inside a little bit. I maybe want to post their guards a couple times. I want Rick Mass to post up. I want Josiah and Juwan to post up some and go inside and get up around the rim and handle that physicality inside. And then, if it's a physical game, let's beat on them when we're boxing out. I mean, let's really go. I don't care if you get a couple fouls. I don't care if you knock a guy down. You go put a body on them and send a message early that this is not going to be an easy route to get to the rim. And really, a lot of it's the one guy, that Anderson Garcia. And I think Josiah is a really good matchup for him as far as physicality standpoint. I think Josiah is stronger. He's a finesse kind of rebounder. He's very quick to the ball. It looks like he reads the shot very well. But I think if you put a really good body on him, whoever's guarding him or Rink or Juwan sometimes, it's got to be an absolute physical, get into their body and not let him jump. And like I said, if you take a couple fouls, but you send the message that it's not going to be a normal rebounding night.
Coach, as we look at some averages for Nebraska, we know they got to win the glass, but from a points tonight and player specifically, is it going to be Bryce that is the calm and maybe a nervous moment for Nebraska? Is it Rink hitting some outside threes, or is it the Kisei show that really ignites the 8,000 to 10,000 Husker fans down in Memphis? They're all keys, but what's the biggest key for you?
Yeah, I hope it's balanced like you're talking about. I think, we have guys that all can contribute. I hope getting CJ back coming off the bench can maybe hit a couple early ones too. But I think Casey is a little more defense dependent. I think Casey, it depends on how they choose to guard him. And he's seen a lot of different coverages. If they're going to absolutely take the three away from him, then I think it becomes Bryce maybe getting to the paint a little bit more. I think it's Rink getting open for threes more because Casey's being guarded so hard. And I think, again, it'd be nice to play a little inside-out basketball. But then I think you have, Jamarcus has shot it pretty good lately. All those guys will get open based on Casey. So I think he's the key cog there because it just depends on how they guard him. And I anticipate them trying to take him out of the game, and we've done pretty good without him scoring a lot at times. And I think that could happen tonight. And I think it's Bryce Williams number one because he has the ball in his hands a little bit more. And then you got your bench players with Lawrence and Wilcher. And then you got Rink that can, spot up and shoot it. And then I love it when Juwan goes, shot fake and goes. He can have 2 or 3 threes, looks. That's great. But I love him going to the basket and maybe getting to the free throw line.
Coach, I want to elaborate on Juwan Gary. We've talked about it all week. He's a guy who played in the SEC, who made the Sweet 16 with Alabama. What impact do you expect him to make against an SEC team because he's seen that type of physicality and that style of play?
Yeah, and I think that's the word, physicality. I think it's something that he's used to. He's ready to. I think we can be a more physical team than them. If you watch some of their games, they're a little more of a finesse team. For an SEC team, I don't think they're the most physical SEC team in that league. And I think that we can be really physical on their cuts. I think defensively we can be physical with our box outs. And I think offensively, strong drives off of 2 feet, and that's what Juwan does really well. And then pound it in a little bit also, and just you have that strong with the ball mentality where we refuse to turn it over and get a good look every time, and then maybe hurt them on the offensive glass. Put it back at them. Sometimes good offensive rebounding teams doesn't translate to defensive rebounding, and so let's attack. Let's have Juwan attack them on the glass with some physicality, and he can get 10 offensive rebounds on given nights.
Coach, before we get you out of here, I want to ask you personally, what is your confidence to nervousness ratio as it stands right now, about an hour out from tip?
55% confidence, 45% nervousness. How's that? I really, when I watched it, I thought this is a 50-50 game. But like I said, I go watch Illinois. That actually gives me confidence that we can play with that kind of a physical, athletic, a balanced team. So I'll say 55-45, and that's what I think our chances of winning are. We got a 55% chance in this game.
Coach, as a proud Husker assistant, what would a win mean to you and the crew?
I live with that. I live with having 4 chances when I was an assistant there. I kind of live with that. I drew up to play against Xavier zone when we were down 2. And went for a 3, and I can see it right in front of our bench. We should have slipped Carl Hayes to the basket and got a dunk and went for a 2 instead of a 3, and this would have been a whole different program right now. So I can't tell you how much it would mean to all of us, and especially our old staff, our former players. I know a lot of them are down there. I heard your show before it came on. I wish I was down there, but it'd be a couple gin and tonics after that game. I know that.
Jeff Smith with us. Coach, we appreciate you much. Thanks for the time today.
You bet. Have fun, guys.
Your home for Kansas City Chiefs football, Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball, and local high school sports. Local and regional coverage can be heard right here on KFOR, FM 101.5, 1240 AM, and KFORnow.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Leaky faucet? Call Action. Frustrated with a clogged or backed up drain? Call Action. Allergies acting up? Call Action. Their indoor air quality experts can help. Need an electrician? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
What moves you? Whether it's running a race or playing with your grandkids, orthopedic specialists at CHI Health are dedicated to helping you keep life moving. We offer the latest surgical and non-surgical treatments, so you have options for painful shoulders, knees, hips, and every joint in between. Don't let joint pain put life on pause. Count on our team of orthopedic specialists to begin your journey back to what moves you today.
It's an ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Good afternoon and happy Friday from the 1011 Newsroom. I'm Cole Miller. Coming up, The day is finally here. Both the Husker men and women are set to take on the Aggies of Texas A&M. We have live team coverage tonight from both Memphis and Corvallis. Plus, fans here in Lincoln are anxiously awaiting tip-off. We stopped by a bar down in the Haymarket to take the pulse of people's nerves. These stories and much more tonight.
Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 4/6. Visit staples.com/print for details.
When spring weather starts to turn ugly. Hail Varsity Radio is live. Now, back to Schmitty.
Schmitty's a great guy, but he don't have a brain.
And Elijah.
You want me to speak? We're not pointing you yet.
On Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager. We're here at Ameristar, Council Bluffs Casino, just outside the sports book. A ton of Nebraska fans that are not in Memphis are here, along with Illinois fans, along with Iowa State fans, along with South Dakota State fans, along with Drake fans, some Duquesne folks wandering around Washington State. It is a wonderful basketball mecca. Reminder about your friends here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. They have instant win games when you check things out with Penn Cash multipliers and a chance for you at $2,000 in Penn Cash. But your March sports viewing headquarters right here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark stuck in studio. We're thinking of him. We have asked you for your predictions, and Eat Beef has checked in and says Skurs by 90. We had a live report from Beale Street from Bill Hooks and a longtime Husker assistant. That was some pretty in-depth stuff about that go-ahead 3 attempt way back when Nebraska was a 3 seed. That's the Bo Reed and Clifford Scales team. And man, right there for Nebraska, that I believe it was a Thursday night, and Coach Smith had the play, the draw up, and shot was just off, and Nebraska was upset. An incredible team right now. This team that has found its way to Memphis, this team that's found its way to be an 8 seed, has so many hearts and has so much heart and a lot of pride, and Husker Nation has traveled. Dion says Nebraska 93-92 over A&M. That's a lot of points.
Wouldn't
but
that be something?
That'd be fun and entertaining. And, Nebraska right now, I think they need to get to right around their average. Mid-70s is fine. You have the rebounding number where A&M's plus 8 to 9 on about everybody. And rebounding-wise, I think A&M's going to get the rebounds, but they can't go even 40%, fellas, from three-point land. They can't be 30%. And Nebraska, meanwhile, they've got to put 2 halves together as good as they are at three-point shooting. Think of that first half against Illinois where they were 6 of 17 or 6 of 20. They were good from 3, and they were whacking Illinois, and then it flipped in the second half. They couldn't hit much. So they've got to have good inside out. Big game. I know Kisei's the national darling, and he's a showman. We know Bryce is the calming force as he walked to the bus today, locked in. No smile, no grin. It was all business for Bryce Williams. But Rink, to me, man, he is an absolute game changer with the outside and inside game. And it's time for Rink, and I'm not putting it all on him, but it's time for Rink to have a big game. He's always important, and he plays his ass off, but he needs a 20 and 10 for me tonight to be victorious.
And don't forget about the assists. What Rink can do from the high post with the ball in his hands, handling the ball, finding back cutters. That's going to be big. Before we dive deeper into this, I do want to take a moment and give a shout out to listener Cliff.
Yep, let's hear from Cliff.
Cliff is back into the Hail Varsity Radio live stream. It's things are looking up. He's been cancer-free since September.
Cliff, we love you.
Cliff, we love you. We're sending thoughts. He said it looks like now you should be home in a couple of weeks. So, Cliff, we thank you for tuning in to Hail Varsity Radio. We are with you. We're supporting you. And that is just great news to have on what can be an awesome night for Nebraska basketball. Shout out to Cliff. We love you, man. But back to Husker basketball. Where I am at is that question that I asked to Coach Smith with the nervousness versus the confidence factor. And I can go two ways with this, because with the nervousness, it's been growing as the day goes on. You see that line flip in Vegas. You think about how long it's been since Nebraska's been there, the pressure that's on that team. But then I keep on coming back to just the it factor that this team has. This team has an it factor that I don't think I've ever seen in a Husker basketball team in my lifetime. I already have established that I think this is the best Husker basketball team I've seen in my lifetime. The it factor with this team, that just whenever things are going rough for you, you remember it at Assembly Hall, there's been guys that have stepped up all season long and put the team on their back. You can look at the road losses. I don't think that's a factor tonight. You have so many Husker fans. You have the send-off at the team hotel. This is not going to be a road Big Ten environment like they've faced. This is going to be closer to Pinnacle Bank Arena than any road environment. They've looked great at home. They have the options. They have guys that have stepped up. They have leadership. Just so many things about this game are looking Nebraska's way. But I keep on coming back to the fact that it's that Husker PTSD. You're just waiting for something to go wrong. That's all the nervousness is for me. Whenever I look at this matchup on paper, it's advantage Nebraska. The nervousness just comes in with the history of Nebraska basketball. And, oh, Lord, we have Rumplemint shots.
See, Scott has been the king of Rumplemints when he visits us in Lincoln. We have Katie and Becky that have brought Rumplemints, and we'll do those here shortly.
We can do it now.
Well, we have one more point to make, Connor, with Nebraska basketball.
Connor, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah,
as
what are your
Rumplemint
thoughts
shots get put down in front of us?
Drink some poison here.
As we get the Rumplemints PTSD.
Well,
cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, go for it. There you go. If you're watching on the stream, this is A1 Hail Varsity Radio right now. Schmitty and Elijah do this.
We have beautiful listeners.
Elijah cheers the screen. There they go. But before we get in, we got Bob on the line here, too. We'll get to him in just a second. But nice faces, guys. But I think
Nelly.
Seeing the amount of Husker fans in Memphis makes me a little bit more confident. As Elijah said, it's not going to be your true Big Ten road environment. The matchup on paper is still really, really interesting. Again, I said this on yesterday's show. If they're able to see that first shot go through, especially if it's a three,
I just saw the first shot go through, and it didn't feel good.
Yeah, well, different type of shot. But I think that could go a long way in building confidence. Before we get out of here, we got Bob on the line, too. We have a prediction for tonight. So, Bob, go ahead.
Bob, thanks for calling. Go for it, bud.
Chris, I'm so happy to be predicting this score. God, I pray it comes true. Nebraska 77, Texas A&M's 63.
Okay, big time win and cover and a little bit of a comfort second half. Bob for Nebraska.
And I think that's just barely the under.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is important to know as we're here outside the sports book at Ameristar.
Yes. Now, Bob, you've been watching Nebraska basketball a long time, brother, and this has been a fun team to track and follow. A lot of characters, a lot of talent. And I think a good percentage of the state is down in Memphis. But I like your score, Bob. I appreciate you checking in. And you hang tough tonight cheering for Nebraska, all right?
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's been too long for this to happen about Nebraska getting the first. But this won't be the only win, I believe, in this tournament. Because with the balanced scoring Nebraska has and the ability to hit the three-point shot and everything, I just think it's going to be a really good game for Nebraska. I don't, there may be some jitters at first, but you know what? The people on this team are serious about this. They've waited just like everybody else for this opportunity, and I think they're going to step up, and it's going to finally get done.
Bob, you take care. Appreciate the prediction, bud. Love you listening. Thanks again. Bob says, bring on Houston.
Bob knows ball. I think Nebraska is probably the second worst matchup in the field for Houston. I've been saying it this week. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to look past tonight, but Bob's on to something.
We'll wind down hour one here from Ameristar, Council Bluffs Casino at Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager.
You want rock-solid results. That's why men insist on Limitless Male. Whether it's low testosterone causing your symptoms or something else, Limitless Male will find the root cause and recommend a treatment plan that works. Do you have low energy, muscle loss, belly fat, brain fog, low libido, hair loss? Find out why. See the experts in men's health. Schedule your free consult at limitlessmale.com. Insurance accepted.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Wow. Happy 100th birthday to KFOR. Unbelievable. This is Chris Goforth, and I'm proud to be a KFOR alum, starting here back in 2002, working weekends and overnights, making sure the station stayed on the air through those wee hours of the evening, and even working on pro shows in the newsroom, behind the scenes of some of your favorite shows over the years, the early years of Salt Dogs Baseball, and being able to sit on the mic during the midday show, afternoon show, and even during the mornings. But truly, I think my favorite memories are not only working with all the amazing people like Kathy, Mark, Dale, Dave, Jill, Kelly Garrett, but even emceeing so many fun events for Capital Humane Society, the Alzheimer's Association, Haymarket District, and so many more. But my favorite part about being a part of KFOR is being connected to
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time this first hour. We'll stream hour 2, and we'll be on our affiliates everywhere except Omaha and Columbus, as they'll take you to pregame coverage. Kent Pavelka, Jake Mielheisen with the Husker Radio Network. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark. We are here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. We invite you down your March Sports viewing headquarters. And make sure you get in, check her out, download the Penn Play app. Your chance at Penn Cash multipliers, some money you can win. We've got the Hail Varsity Radio Parlay. Connor is in for $5. Elijah and I kicked in 20.
We're going to be sweating Florida, Colorado here.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not going to be sweating. We're going to be rich, Connor.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'll take your word for it.
Just think of
It'll be
Dave Chappelle
$37 richer.
saying rich. I love it.
The best degenerate gamblers out there think of the winnings, not the losses.
Right.
You know?
Nate has come by to say hi. Brian and Dave, of course, have said hi. You have Kate and Becky that brought the Rumplemints, courtesy of the Snitleys, possibly. Tion was saying what's up. And our friend Todd here in Council Bluffs, says, look, you guys are like a bunch of kids on Christmas, but in a few hours, you realize you didn't get what you wanted. Gotta be great. Todd, that's no way to think.
Todd, here's the thing.
Todd's the slap in the face. He's the cold winter wind, but it's okay.
And let me also lay this out there for Husker fans. If you aren't enjoying this moment, what are you doing? Nebraska,
don't let it make you worry and be sad.
Even if
Enjoy
Nebraska
the moment.
doesn't get it done tonight, which we'll find out here in roughly an hour, once this game gets tipped off. I think we'll know whether in the first 5 minutes of that game, whether or not Nebraska brings it. Nebraska has not made it to the NCAA tournament for 10 seasons now. For 10 years, you've been sitting at home watching, wondering, when is Nebraska going to get a chance to play here? When am I going to get to watch Nebraska in the tournament? When am I going to get to pick Nebraska in my bracket? You get to do it this year. Enjoy it while you can. I think we all understand here, this is not a national title year for Nebraska. It would take an act of God for Nebraska to make it to the Final Four. Is it possible? Sure. I think this team's got the it factor. I don't want to put that out of the question. But regardless of what happens tonight, regardless of what happens on a potential matchup Sunday with Houston if Nebraska gets it done tonight, just enjoy the moment. Enjoy that Nebraska's in the NCAA tournament, because Nebraska is a school that this is not commonplace. You should know this by now, being a Husker basketball fan. I understand you want the win. You want Nebraska to get over that hump, to make history, get the first NCAA tournament win in history. That's huge. But at the end of the day, just making the NCAA tournament's a win for where this program has been for the first 4 years under Fred, and where Nebraska basketball has been throughout its entire history.
Walter from Philly says, box the bleep out. This team wants more than a boy.
Exactly.
Getting here is nice. It's sweet. It's a good response. It's a raise.
It's not
It's a lot of things for Fred, but it isn't enough with this team. And I think they're going to have an opportunity to have much of this team back, aside from Alec and Kisei, which are two key and big-time players, but you have a really good nucleus. Brandon says, look, they are going to win. That's what he goes with prediction-wise. Good for you, Brandon. Like that. Justin checks in. We'll take more of your predictions in the stream. Says Nebraska 77, A&M 66. Dion says the reason the line flipped is Trev put $2 million on A&M. He's got a buyout bet going. Appreciate that. Bob called in 489-1240, 800-825-5865, and said Nebraska wins by 15. KG says Big Red by 22. More your predictions, more Hail Varsity. Hour 2 coming up in select markets. We're powered by Cornhead Lager.
We all like to save money, and we all like to save time. So why not save money and time on your auto insurance? At Battle Creek Insurance, we offer a way to do both. Enroll in our EFT payment option and save 5% on your auto insurance premium. EFT makes bill paying easy, convenient, and there's no worry of late payments. Visit BattleCreekINS.com today to contact your local Battle Creek independent agent. Start saving. Battle Creek Insurance, better together.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
My new exercise bike. More like my $1,500 coat rack.
I got a guitar. Never even learned Smoke on the Water.
At Babbel, we get it. Learning something new is hard, especially a new language.
I've forgotten all my high school French.
My Spanish starts at hola and ends at adios.
Make it easy on yourself. Get Babbel, the language learning app built by 200-plus language experts to teach you real-world conversations for any situation. With research-proven lessons, addictive games, immersive podcasts, and live online classes with real teachers.
Sounds like fun.
It's fun and fast. Babbel's bite-sized lessons take 10 minutes a day. You can start having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Hola, Espanol.
Ready to learn a new language? It starts here. Now try Babbel free when you text radio to 64,000. To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone,
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
but treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local
Celebrating 100 years of serving East Central Nebraska. This is FM 101.5, 1240 AM KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News. I'm Daria Albinger. Russia's foreign ministry is calling a deadly attack on a concert hall and shopping center in Moscow a terrorist attack.
Multiple heavily armed gunmen opened fire at one of Moscow's largest malls while people were packed inside for a concert. Video circulating online shows at least 3 gunmen firing assault rifles into crowds, hundreds of people fleeing. A huge fire then engulfed the building. Russian authorities confirming at least 40 people have been killed and 100 injured so far. This attack comes just 2 weeks after the U.S. State Department issued an unusual warning that extremists could target concerts in Moscow. Patrick Reevell, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The Islamic State group claiming responsibility for the attack. The Princess of Wales is asking for time, space, and privacy for her and her family as she undergoes chemotherapy. The 42-year-old Kate Middleton announcing today she's battling cancer discovered after she underwent abdominal surgery back in January.
The surgery was successful. However, tests after the operation found cancer had been present.
The princess in a video that was released by BBC Studios. At least 2 people are dead after a crash involving a school bus near Austin, Texas. The first responders, radio transmissions courtesy of Broadcastify. The bus was carrying pre-K students back from a field trip. Negotiations continue toward a new ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas.
We have the same goals, the defeat of Hamas, Israel's long-term security, but a major ground operation in Rafah is not, in our judgment, the way to achieve it.
The Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Tel Aviv. Senate's expected to vote on a $1.2 trillion spending package to avert a government shutdown. The House passed it earlier today. Gotcha tickets. Tonight's Mega Millions drawing will be for at least $977 million. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Game trending on social media causing concern for local law enforcement. Hello, I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News. It's 47 degrees in Lincoln. 2 reports of a man showing a gun in the Rail Yard District and near 27th and Pine Lake Road this week turned out to be a water gun. It's part of a game found on TikTok called Senior Assassins, which seniors in high school across Lincoln are hunting each other with water guns.
Some of these water guns and splatter guns look very realistic and similar to real weapons, which can create unnecessary alarm in the community and possibly lead to a more dangerous situation.
Lincoln Police Captain Todd Cutzian says parents are highly encouraged to talk with their kids about possible consequences of the game so that kids can have a fun and memorable senior year. Lincoln Police say a 74-year-old woman is out of $25,000 after falling victim to a scam on Facebook. According to Captain Todd Cutzian, the woman was using Facebook Marketplace when she found out her account had been hacked.
Once the person she was speaking to on the phone asked to make a second withdrawal. So fortunately, there wasn't any additional losses.
The woman showed up to LPD's service desk on Wednesday to report the scam. The man asked the woman to provide a copy of her driver's license and social security number. The woman realized she was being scammed when the man asked her to take out more money. Both the Nebraska men's and women's basketball teams compete tonight at the NCAA tournament, both playing Texas A&M. Husker men's coach Fred Hoiberg says they are playing one of the hottest teams in the country in A&M. Especially, Hoiberg says both teams are playing great basketball.
We've all got our unique systems. A&M is a very unique system on both sides of the ball. And I know this, whatever offense they're running, we have to be tied together. You know, defensively, we've been pretty darn good with the exception of the Illinois game. We had a lot of miscues in that game.
Men's game is at 5:50 on TNT, while the women play at 9:30 tonight on ESPNU. Increasing clouds tonight with a low near 24. I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News.
Have you heard the news today?
China and Russia helped shoot down a U.S. proposal for a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release. CNN swing state polls in Michigan and Pennsylvania spell trouble for President Biden. The House passes the $1.2 trillion funding bill, while Marjorie Taylor Greene files a motion to vacate Mike Johnson as Speaker.
You'll know everything when you stay connected.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Keep up with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com or on your mobile. You can download the free iHeart or TuneIn app and stream KFOR on the go.
The following is a paid program. Content is provided by Hurrdat Media. He's the pride of Fairbury, an average Joe. Bill Dolman, the professor.
I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A and my grandma beat me for cheating.
Now with Hail Varsity Radio.
We are back. Hey,
we are. And welcome to an hour two. It's Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, where we're located. Be sure to stop on by, get up here just across the river, download that Penn Play app, and a chance for you at $2,000 in Penn cash. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark, the pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman. As Billy D, brother, we are about 45 minutes from history starting and maybe history changing. How you feeling here as we're talking Nebraska and A&M, brother?
Well, first of all, for those who are not able to watch the stream, Chris is sitting in front of a sign that says cash. And last I knew, you were at a casino, so I don't know if you were strategically placed, like after loss after loss after loss, going to the cash machine, or you are needing ones for something else. I don't know what it is, but
that's where I knew you were going. You made sure that you got your little punch in, and I love it because, well, that's you and me.
Strategically placed at a casino. That's the only way you're going to get any money. But
well, as it stands right now, our cash is not looking great. No. Colorado's up 7 on Florida midway through the second half. And Bill, we have
plenty of time.
We have the Hail Varsity Radio parlay of the day.
You don't bet on the Buffs,
but apparently you don't bet against the Buffs either. So that's not looking great for us. But we'll see. A lot of basketball left.
Well, and don't take Kentucky to win the national championship. So the only good thing that comes out of Kentucky losing last night, that's who I had knocking Nebraska out of the tournament. So the path is clear for Nebraska to make a run at the Final Four. And as you will recall, as you go back into the time machine, who was talking about Nebraska being a Sweet 16 team about 2 months ago?
It was Bill Dolman.
You called it.
Wow. Thank you. They're not there yet, but they're on their way.
Bill, to put into perspective, tonight in a potential NCAA tournament run, Hail Varsity went around on Beale Street, and you can check this out on the Hail Varsity Twitter account at Hail Varsity, asking what would be more meaningful to Nebraska, their first NCAA tournament win or a bowl game win. I want to present that question to you. What is more meaningful to Nebraska? Obviously, you have some bias with today's news, today's events being in an NCAA tournament game tonight. But in your eyes, what is more meaningful? What is more significant to Nebraska given the current state of affairs?
Well, you're right. In the immediacy where the heart is right now, you would say that it's winning a game in the NCAA basketball tournament. But step away for a moment and think about it. Nebraska football is what drives the bus that every athletic team rides on. And if Nebraska gets to a bowl game and wins a bowl game, that means everything is going well. So for the overall health of the athletic department and the state of Nebraska, a bowl game and a bowl win, I think, is the smart bet. But the heartstrings certainly play dear old Nebraska U winning a basketball game in the NCAA tournament.
You know, and you're so used, and I know it's been a while, but you're so used to bowl games that this is special because it's the first. It's not a first national championship, but it's a step towards getting off that list that you own right now as the only Power 5 team to never win a championship. And that is a heavy burden on past teams, past coaches. We heard Coach Smith talk about it an hour ago. I mean, they're sick about it because they had some really, really good teams.
Yeah.
And tonight is an opportunity. And You've got the mayor set to deliver, and you've got a squad that's deep, that's talented, that people love because of how gritty they are, and there's flash and wow to them as well with Tominaga. Bill, what do you believe goes on tonight? I'm talking with Elijah and Connor during the break, and I'm like, do they come out nervous or do they come out just confident? And I mean, starts are so important in these settings. You've seen it through a day and a half of tournament play.
Yeah, I think I said this, I think, on the Average Joe podcast the other day. I think Nebraska really is one of the most complete teams in the country. I'm not going to say Nebraska is the best team in the country, talent-wise. Okay, but I think it's one of the best teams. I think it's a complete team, and I say that because when you take a look at the parts and how they're all put together and what they're being asked to do offensively with a lot of motion and bringing Mast out and having a guy that can stretch the floor as a big and hit some threes. You've got good players who coming off the bench accept their roles. Lawrence coming off the bench midway through the year and just completely embraced the opportunity. Wilcher was in a bit of a funk, but he can give you a spark. Everybody's got a role and they accept their role. They excel in their role. And then you've got those juice players like, Josiah Alec and Sam Hoiberg that can change a game just by the way they play. And I think Juwan Gary is a huge key for how Nebraska plays. Even though Nebraska is going to, loses Alec and Tominaga, it's still, I think, a fairly veteran and mature team, even though they haven't played in the NCAA tournament. You don't see that team getting too bothered, at least not down the stretch in Big Ten play. Yeah, they played awful way back in Minnesota, awful against Creighton, but for the most part, it's been fairly steady. And I think that I don't anticipate them coming out and being nervous. And if Tominaga is not hitting shots and they've got to look to somebody to step up, we've seen time and again this season that somebody does. I think Bryce Williams' maturity is a huge factor in this game, even though he doesn't have significant NCAA experience. I think Juwan Gary is critical for Nebraska. Wilcher has to play within himself. Mast is a pretty heady guy. I think Nebraska has a maturity that can help them get through the early moments of what may be some, nervous play early on.
Well, here's my argument for this team coming out pretty confident today. And obviously there's going to be some nerves. I mean, this is the first time 90% of this roster has been on this stage, but the amount of fans that you will have behind you today is going to be a lot for an NCAA tournament game. Even the neutral fans will probably be rooting for Casey.
Yeah.
They'll be rooting for you. And then two, you've beaten the likes of a Purdue. You've shown that you can beat the likes of an Illinois. So you have that on your resume as well. That's got to be in the back of their minds somewhere going into this game, I would think.
Yeah, Nebraska's gone through. Is the Big Ten the best conference in the country? Yeah, maybe. The SEC sure is proving to be that. The Big East only got 3 in the dance. So I think you would have to say Nebraska finished third in arguably the best conference in the country, a rugged conference, not easy road games by any stretch. They had some tough travel schedules, as Connor, you well know, with that schedule that you had when they played, 3 games in 6 days, and one of them was against Illinois and another was against Northwestern, who both have wins in the tournament already. So Nebraska's withstood a lot to get to where it is right now, and you've got a coach who could not be more steady unless his name was Tom Osborne. So to have Fred Hoiberg's experience, having won as a player and a coach in the NCAA tournament, having played in that arena himself, I think that really helps to have that kind of demeanor in a coach. Here's my big concern, and I said this again also on Average Joe, officiating. Because you have all kinds of different officials. I don't know who the crew is for tonight, but I'm guessing it's probably not going to be 3 guys who have officiated a Nebraska game this season. And as we've seen with some of the opening round games, and this is always the case in the NCAA tournament, some officials have to get adjusted to the style of play that they're calling, and it may not be what they see night in and night out in some of the other leagues. You've got high-priced officials in the Big Ten. You might have $1,000 a night officials in the Colonial Athletic, and they just officiate a different game throughout the course of the season. And now here they are, and they've got guys like Alec and Hoiberg, and that could be a huge difference maker in what happens for both of these teams tonight.
Bill Dolman is with us, the pride of Fairbury, NBC Sports, the professor at Bill Dolman on Twitter, as we get you ready for Nebraska and Texas A&M. Let's talk for a moment about officiating, yes, but how about the coaching matchup? You've covered and done games with Buzz Williams. You've covered and done games with Fred Hoiberg as a player and as a coach. What is Nebraska's advantage tonight with the mayor?
His demeanor, for one. You never know if they're too high or too low, right? And even at Fred's highest peak, you don't really know if that, moves the meter all that much. I think Buzz Williams has matured as a coach from when he was at Marquette and, did some good things at Virginia Tech. He's been at Texas Tech now 5 years. He's a good strategist. He's an overachiever, if you will. And I hate that term, but here's a guy that didn't play college basketball, right? He's basically a self-taught coach, and he's gone to 3 very good institutions and done very well at all 3. So he's a guy that knows his X's and O's. I think he knows how to punch or push his team's emotional buttons a little differently than Fred does. Whereas Buzz Williams can get his team fired up, I think Fred Hoiberg does a great way of calming his team down and letting the players manage their emotions a little bit amongst themselves. And that goes back to the maturity. I think he trusts them, and they know that.
It's Bill Dolman with us here on Hail Varsity Radio as we get you all set for Nebraska-Texas A&M.
Tip-off has been moved back to 6.
Yes, I was just going to go there.
For TNT.
I was going to say we're about 45 minutes away from opening tip in that one. And
just in time to wrap the show.
Yeah, perfect. Bill, we've had the conversation here today, the nervousness versus the confidence ratio. I'm not going to ask you to lay yours out. You can if you'd like. But to bring a different angle to this, what about this matchup tonight gives you the most confidence of all the things we've already talked about here? What about tonight's matchup makes you the most nervous of all the things we've talked about?
Well, everybody talks about Texas A&M's ability to rebound, and we've seen Nebraska have difficulty with teams that rebound the ball well, most notably Illinois, a couple of times in the last month. And if Texas A&M is as good a rebounding team as Illinois is, then that could be a bit of a problem. But the thing that I like about what Nebraska has, look, Texas A&M has, is it Wade Taylor the fourth? He's averaging 25 points per game over his last 4 games. Who else? What's his supporting cast if he's not hitting at that 25 points per clip? Who else does he have? With Nebraska, we have seen, as I mentioned earlier, time and time again, somebody different step up. Bryce Williams might have 23 and Tominaga might have 16 and his 3-point shot isn't falling. Wilcher comes off the bench and hits 2 or 3 threes. Jamarcus Lawrence has been playing within himself off the bench. Reich Mast, if he can step out, and if Mast can hit a couple of early threes, as we saw him do in the Big Ten tournament, that's going to bode well for Nebraska. It doesn't have to be Tominaga against Taylor. Nebraska's got enough of a supporting cast that can star on its own, on their own, that can be a difference as well. Who does Texas A&M have to complement Taylor? We know Nebraska has a lot of people that can pick up and be the star of the show if Tominaga is not lighting up the world like he did in the Big Ten tourney. Hope he does.
I'm wondering how has Fred had to talk to him, or is that something that maybe is in game? Is does Kisei, lack of a better term, buy into the hype around him and force it? Bryce Williams is somebody that's, when he lets the game come to him, has been steadying and calming.
But there's been moments this season with Williams. You think about the second half against Minnesota, really when things start to go wrong for the Husker team, there's been moments this year where he's tried to do too much, not let the game come to him.
And Rink also, he needs to be as amped like he's going against Edey tonight, because you saw how great he was against Edey.
Right.
Playing up to that competition.
And not go 3 for 12 like he did against Rutgers and You know, that was the game also that Gary got hurt. You know, look, Nebraska just can't go in a collective deep freeze. And Mass can't have those nights where he's missing those shots from 4 feet. Even if he's hitting them from 3, he's got to be productive inside. And yeah, Tominaga, I don't think Fred's going to try and tell Kisei to, okay, hold on now. You know, I think he's going to let him be him. And we saw the over-the-shoulder shot again yesterday. I think he's going to come out and try and play with the kind of joy that he says he has. Right? I think you're going to see Tominaga come out and throw up a couple early quick threes just to see what the heat check is like. And I think you're going to see some steady play from Bryce Williams. The other thing, though, is they have got to keep Juwan Gary out of foul trouble and Josiah Alec out of foul trouble. And that's what worries me about the officiating. Those guys are so good. They're Nebraska's best rebounders. And if they take that away from them, Texas A&M will dominate the glass.
Bill Dolman, NBC Sports, Pride of Fairbury, the professor. Bill, I need a prediction here, partner.
Pain.
Aha, Mr. T said it best.
Look, I'm not going to go against. I never have. My God, I'm going to say Nebraska is going to put up some big numbers. I think it's 86-73 Nebraska.
Wow. Any reaction to Dion? The listeners thought why the line switched because Trev put $2 million on A&M.
He might be onto something.
Some guy named J.R. Ewing put $2 million on A&M.
Yeah.
Bill, we love you, brother. Thanks for jumping in. We'll get connected and we'll watch Sunday together. How's that sound?
Sounds great to me. Go Big Red. See you guys.
There he is, Pride of Fairbury. It's Bill Dolman, NBC Sports. We're here at the Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. The infamous Clausburn Friday forecast next.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day? Heard at Sports Bar and Grill. Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long? Heard at Sports Bar and Grill. Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday? Heard at Sports Bar and Grill. Heard at Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista. Heard at Sports Bar and Grill.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more to ADHD.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity Roadshow. Friday, we're here at the Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark, as we await tip-off. Tip-off moved back to 6 p.m. for Nebraska-Texas A&M. We're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Remind you about your friends at Penn and what they have for you, a chance at $2,000 with Penn Cash. But think about downloading the Penn Play app, your chance at cash multipliers, and get here to the Sportsbook March Sports Viewing headquarters right here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. How is the Florida-Colorado game looking for the Hail Varsity parlay?
Not great. Not bad. Not bad. It's a
Still time.
It's a high-scoring game. Colorado went on a bit of a run. They have a 7-point lead as it stands right now.
Still.
But Florida's been hanging around.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was just a couple bad possessions from Florida. They got out of sorts. They called the timeout. They got themselves back into it. 79-72 with 8 minutes left. We're at the
Plenty of time.
Timeout.
Plenty of time for the fighting Ben Sasses. Okay, Pat Morris checks in. I haven't been this invested in men's basketball in years. Love to see them show the world what they've been missing. GBR, more of your predictions. We'll get to you in the stream. Hail Varsity YouTube is where you can watch the show.
Did we have Florida's coach may have been ejected? Is that what I'm seeing here?
He was
upset. No, he's still there, but it looks like we have a technical.
Yeah,
A technical has been called. That's just free throws. I'm not worried about
That's all right. We'll see if the Gators, because you can't cheer for Colorado. Vic has a valid point. Vic in Denver, we miss you, brother. I mean, could it be worse than Big Ten officiating? You've seen the worst a lot of this season. Let's get to the Friday forecast. We have moved it up a segment due to tip-off time, and we welcome in. He's imaginary. He wears red. The infamous Clausberg, part of our Friday forecast. Claus, how you feeling? You got your goggles on.
Well, I'm certainly ready to go for tonight. I've really been enjoying the tournament so far. It was good to see Oakland upset Kentucky last night. Of course, Oakland, the Swedish capital of Nebraska. And then Illinois defeating Morehead State. The worst part about that was the hypocrisy. But
not laughing at that one.
Other than that,
that's so bad.
Just let it pretty good tournament so far.
The comedic timing with Claus there was impeccable, and I wish it wasn't, because that's not a laughing matter.
That's not.
Oh, Jesus. Moving on. We should have seen it coming, Schmitty.
Yeah. Who gave Schmitty the Rumpelman shot? This was a bad idea.
No, listen. It's not that. It's. Oh, Nelly. All right, let's get to the games.
We're getting fined after this one.
No, we're fine. We're fine. Phew. Okay, let's get to James Madison, Wisconsin. -5.5. The Fighting James Madison, whatever. What are they called?
Dukes.
The Dukes won at Michigan State to start off the season. Whiskey -5.5. I'm going to go with Wisconsin outright, 80-67. The Badgers are back, and they are a tough team to deal with. They are going to move on. Elijah.
I have full confidence in the Hail Varsity Radio parlay. I know the Florida and Colorado pick doesn't look great, but if that one misses, means everything else looks great. I'm going to take Wisconsin to win and cover. Give me the Badgers 70, James Madison 61.
This is going to be a really good game, and I initially had James Madison, but I switched it over to Wisconsin, which pains me because I have a friend who works for the Dukes, but I'm going to go with Wisconsin. They're playing arguably the best basketball of the year again. I'm going to go Scotty 71-65.
Okay, Claus, Wisconsin, or James Madison? What do you think?
Well, these are obviously not two teams that have a whole lot of history and haven't played a lot. So the last time that James Madison had to face up some Redcoats would have been 1812. And I don't think that went particularly well then. And I think Dolly Madison will probably have to run out with a picture of George Washington to keep it from getting burned again tonight. So I'll take Wisconsin 80 and James Madison 71.
We look at a potential future opponent, Nebraska, if they win tonight, move on and face likely Houston and Longwood. Now, Longwood's a 16 seed. They won the play-in game, but I'm looking at this thing from a line standpoint, 24.5. Houston has had problems scoring, at times. They are really, really good. They're a 1 seed for a reason. I think Houston wins, but I think Longwood covers. Give me the Cougars 68 and Longwood 51. Not as dominant for Houston, and I like Longwood to cover. Maybe I'm off here. Elijah, what do you think?
I don't hate Longwood to cover. The question to me, I don't think Longwood breaks 50 points tonight. Houston's defense is that
Houston
good.
do
The question is, what does Houston do offensively? I think they want to make a statement as the 1 seed. I think they're going to keep that pedal to the metal throughout most of this one. I have Houston winning this one 74, Longwood 47, a win and cover for Houston.
Connor, what do you say here? Houston by 25, or you like Longwood to cover the number? Or just maybe an outright Longwood upset?
I think Longwood definitely covers, and I think they definitely don't win. But I'm going to go kind of on the same lines as Elijah. Not as big of a margin of victory, but I'm going to go the Cougars 67-49. Their defense is just way too good.
All right. Claus, what do you like here? Houston to cover, Longwood for maybe even an upset?
Well, Houston has had their ups and downs offensively, but I agree. I think their defense is pretty solid, and I think, as you said, they're number one for a reason. So I think I'm the only one that actually liked Houston to cover Longwood, as all you kids should do out there as well. 77 and Longwood 49.
I was waiting for the up and down punchline. That's the one I thought was coming. As soon as he said it's been up and down, I went, there's a joke coming here. But no, we stayed away from it. Claus did not make me cry laughing. And that is a good thing, actually, in this segment, because we need to get through it.
Carolina, Michigan State, Tar Heels minus 3.5. Well, Junior and Mama are wearing Spartan gear this time of year. Junior's trying to talk us into letting him pick up some girl we've never met for a date tonight.
Oh.
And he's negotiating.
Make sure he covers his Longwood, huh?
Geez, dude.
Sorry.
Both of you just exposing him on the air. I mean, what is going
That
on?
wasn't even my fault.
Yeah.
Claus set me up for it. I'm sorry.
Junior. So I said go ahead and have a date, but be home by 10:30 Pacific. Okay. I'm going to go with Michigan State. I'm going to say Michigan State outright. I'll take the 3.5, but I think Michigan State has flipped the switch. Give me Michigan State 70. Give me Carolina 67. Sparty wins a close game as they march on in March. Elijah.
Sparty's been a team that's reinvented, but UNC is a team that I think is headed to the Final Four. That's what I have in my bracket. I'm going to roll with my bracket. I have North Carolina winning this game and covering. Give me North Carolina 74, Michigan State 68.
Okay, you're going with the Tar Heels. They're really talented. They're a 1 seed. Connor, what happens?
Yeah, Michigan State looked good in their opening round game, but this is essentially a de facto home game for North Carolina. I also think that they're going to be a team flirting with a Final Four. I don't have them in my Final Four, but I have them in my Elite Eight. I think Armando Bacot is going to have a really good day. Michigan State's bigs have been pretty questionable all season long, so I'll go with the Heels 76-69.
Claus, what happens here, Sparty or Carolina?
Well, this would have been a much more exciting matchup probably 30 years ago. I think Michigan State is going to revert. I think North Carolina is going to get to the Final Four. I hope they do, or else I'm going to be stuck being tied with Christopher in the bracket challenge as I am right now. So, I need North Carolina to move on, and I would have a better joke, but I'm still stuck on the Longwood, just like Elijah probably will be this weekend. So I'll say Carolina 75 and Michigan State 71.
We're going to sneak in Oregon. Creighton will roll over Nebraska A&M into the 40 segment. The Dana Altman Bowl, and Creighton looked impressive. Oregon was fantastic. They are still hot, fresh off that Pac-12 title run. Creighton's favored by 5.5. Creighton's as good a team as there is in this tournament. When we talk about their size down low and with Kalkbrenner and how good he is at rim protection and getting you an efficient scoring paint presence, and then the three-point assassins around the arc with Trey driving. I mean, it's Creighton's big time. But if anyone knows how to take down Creighton, it's probably Dana Altman, and Oregon's very athletic. They've got some nice transfers. I'm going to keep with my 11 seed pick to the Sweet 16. Give me Oregon 79-78. They win outright against Creighton. I like Oregon to move on. Elijah.
I've said it a couple of times. I think this Creighton team, when they're on, when they're clicking, can go win the national championship this year. The problem is they haven't been clicking, firing all cylinders in very many games this season. I think Creighton wins this one, but I think Oregon really gives them a run for their money. I have Creighton to win, but Oregon to cover 80-77. The Blue Jays advance barely.
Connor, what happens here, Oregon or Creighton?
Yeah, this is going to be a tight one. Oregon's playing really, really good basketball right now, and as you mentioned, it's the Dana Altman Bowl. I think Creighton still continues a good shooting night. I don't think they've hit that lull just yet. I have them beating Oregon in my bracket, so I'll pick them to beat Oregon here. But I think it'll be a tight one. I'm going to go Creighton 80 and Oregon 77.
Klaus, what say you, Oregon or Creighton minus 5.5 Jays?
Well, this is a tough one because obviously I cannot stand Creighton University and all it stands for. But on the other side, we've got, when I think about Oregon, I think about Dana Altman, and I think about that haircut, which I think should be classified as a war crime. So. But I suppose at the end of the day, Dana could go to Sport Clips, and Creighton will still have their sweater vests surgically attached to them. So I'll take Oregon 73 and Creighton 68.
Schmidt almost spit his water everywhere.
Oh, that was bad. Bad timing on my part. Klaus, can you hang on for 5 minutes on the other side for Nebraska A&M?
Okay.
There he is, the infamous Klausburn. He's imaginary. He wears red. As we got some Husker fans ready to pull the trigger here on the Big Red A&M bet here. We're at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino Roadshow Friday. Excited to be up here. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark. And make sure you get on down to Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino and get that Pen Play app downloaded today. Quick timeout. We'll wind down the forecast here. Nebraska A&M next with Klausburn on Hail Varsity.
Your home for Kansas City Chiefs football, Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball, and local high school sports. Local and regional coverage can be heard right here on KFOR, FM 101.5, 1240 AM, and KFORnow.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
What moves you? Whether it's running a race or playing with your grandkids, orthopedic specialists at CHI Health are dedicated to helping you keep life moving. We offer the latest surgical and non-surgical treatments, so you have options for painful shoulders, knees, hips, and every joint in between. Don't let joint pain put life on pause. Count on our team of orthopedic specialists to begin your journey back to what moves you today.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And Don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Offered on ballot in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, but it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Weather worries? Chill out. We've got you covered.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hail Varsity Radio. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark. We'll resume the Friday forecast, letting you know we're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. A lot of Nebraska fans at Beale Street in Memphis finding their way into the Forum. Many of you finding your way here to Council Bluffs at Ameristar and picking the Big Red or just enjoying your March Madness. So reminder about your friends at Penn Gaming here in the Penn Cash Multiplier, your chance to win some instant cash games, instant win games for you. So this is going to be a big-time night. The excitement, the energy has risen. Great stuff from Jeff Smith. Wonderful stuff from Bill Dolman. Bill Hooks live on Beale Street to get the show kicked off as we will resume the Friday forecast right now. And things have flipped as Nebraska was favored by as many as 3.5. That dipped to Nebraska minus 1.5. And now A&M is favored by 1. Our parlay is going down in flames. I'm glad you
really
too,
is.
Elijah and Connor, said, dude, Florida money line's brilliant.
Hey. Let's also note, this isn't on me because Connor also talked me out of picking Oakland in my bracket, so I'm fully blaming it on Connor.
We should have done Iowa State over Washington State.
Your bracket was going to be perfect anyway.
Yeah,
we're gonna point the finger. It's okay, not the thumb.
This show is falling apart.
I blame the big shiny thing behind Schmitty. That's what I blame.
Cash.
Yeah.
Okay. As Dolman thought we were at a juice bar.
we could go after.
I just like, let's make some more decisions.
Hey, great place to watch the game.
Sure. So let's get into Nebraska at A&M. A&M -1. I hate to do this, but I'm gonna do this. Texas A&M 86. Nebraska 79. Elijah.
Oh, you're just going to leave it at that? No further analysis?
Tough 3-point shooting, too many offensive rebounds, and Nebraska just doesn't have an answer for the dribble drive to the rim. I'm sorry. May God have mercy on my soul.
Okay, I'll jump in here and say I really think the difference in this game can be the amount of Husker fans that are traveling to Memphis and showing up. It's going to feel like something of a Nebraska home game based on all the reports we're seeing out there. I think if you hit a couple of shots early, if you get some things going your way early, this fan support can lead you across the finish line. At times when they're on to 64, it's about surviving. I think Nebraska, with their experience, I think with the fan support, has enough to survive. I'm going to take Nebraska to win this one 78-67. They advance to play Houston on Sunday.
Connor, what say you, Nebraska or A&M?
This is as nervous I've been for a basketball game in quite some time. Obviously, the stakes are high. The rebounding favors A&M. The three-point shooting favors Nebraska. The defense, that will be up for debate. It's probably a jump ball right now, no pun intended, between these two teams. But I think, and I kind of agree with Elijah here, I think the amount of red in the stands is going to make a difference in this game. So I'm going to take Nebraska to win their first ever NCAA tournament game. It will be tight. A&M will have their runs. Nebraska will have their runs. It will be an emotional roller coaster for everybody wearing scarlet and cream here this evening. But give me Nebraska in a tight one, 75-71 over the Aggies.
Just to report from our friend Robin Washut, officials tonight, Jeb Hartness, Rick Crawford, and ... Jeff Anderson. Anderson's the same ref who waved to the Nebraska crowd as the officials left the court at halftime at PBA this year.
I don't hate
Yes, that guy's a clown.
I don't hate the crew.
Okay.
I think it's nice to have one guy that has Nebraska experience, despite the fact it's Jeffrey Anderson.
Give me two officials and no Jeffrey Anderson tonight. Claus, put an end to it. Put a bow on it. Nebraska A&M tonight. A&M -1. What happens?
Well, last week we had some discussions about Texas A&M on account of the news that came out. And I said something to the effect of, I thought it's pretty easy to get recruited into a cult, so I couldn't blame Trev. And I felt like Elijah sort of took exception to my comparison. But let me just point out some ways they're like a cult. You have to show up and sing the right songs, and you have to revere a dog, and you can't walk on the grass. I mean that very seriously. If you go to College Station and you walk on the grass, you will absolutely get screamed at by a member of the Corps of Cadets, because they say it is a honor, it is a monument of sorts to the Aggie war dead. Now, that got me thinking, of course, boys, that many football programs, many universities built these large, grandiose stadiums and called them War Memorial Stadium. Nebraska did that, Kansas did that, Indiana did that, even Texas did that. But then the school of Texas A&M that cosplays as a military academy said, hey, Aggie War Dead, hope you like grass. We would have named the stadium, dedicated a stadium after you, but we had to go ahead and we promised the guy who plays a lot of Grand Theft Auto and drinks a lot of Monster in between bouts of being good to himself. So my point is this: the Aggie cult will not be able to overcome the Big Red Spirit in Memphis, and they won't be able to do it in Portland later on tonight either. So the men are going to win for Nebraska 79-70, and the ladies are probably going to win 100-2.
Claus is on it. Claus, enjoy the ball game and get your red face paint on. Maybe it's already there. And are you rocking the Tominaga, the Rink, the Bryce, or the Alec jersey tonight? Maybe you're dressed up as a mayor. I don't know.
Well, I've certainly got the Tominaga jersey on, and of course, a smart, dashing red blazer as always.
I love it. There he is, Clausburn. Claus will holler next week for some Sweet 16. How's that sound?
Okay.
There he goes, Clausburn. He is imaginary. He wears red, and he says Nebraska 79-70 over A&M for the men's. It tips off here at about 12 minutes. The women will win 100-2.
That's scores by 90
in Corvallis. That'll be big time as we wind down a Friday road show with Hale Varsity.
This Yale-Auburn game, too, is awesome. Yale's up 73-72 right now.
Oh, goodness.
The SEC is just a nightmare this season. As many teams as they got in, as good as they're supposed to be, they are crapping the bed.
Yale was a 14-point underdog.
I know. Yale had to hit a miracle shot to get in.
Well, it's a good thing that Nebraska is playing an SEC opponent based on the trend.
Well, the trend is what it is. And then there's the Husker PTSD. I had to pick against the Big Red. It's not that I want to do it. I just got to see it to believe it. And I've seen it a lot at PBA, and I know it's PBA East on Beale Street. Tom Chattel tweeting out that what air quote neutral site do they claim for the NCAA tournament? Because Nebraska is absolutely locked in. We'll wind it down. We'll get you sent off to tip Nebraska at A&M.
And don't look now. Florida down 4 with 1:15 left.
You keep hitting threes, Gators. Keep our Hail Varsity Penn parlay alive. Man, I hold on to $20. Too tight. We'll wind it down from Ameristar. It's Hail Varsity powered by Cornhead Lager.
You got your very own handyman to help remodel your home.
I can't find a vanity. There's absolutely nothing that I like.
Rob, after months of searching, who helped you find your dream vanity?
A friend of mine, his dad is a contractor. I called him one day. He said, "Have you tried Handyman?" I didn't know that it was open to the public. I honestly thought it was more for contractors. I didn't know if that was a store you could just walk into. I went down there, and within the first 10 minutes, I pretty much had a vanity picked out, and I was sold on it, but I didn't like the top. The manager pulls the top off, and he ends up grabbing another top of one that I did like and sliding it in there. It was better than I could have imagined. I was just super excited and happy to have found him and Handyman. It just all came together super fast. Handyman's a good place to start your bathroom remodel. I definitely wish I would have started there.
For the very best in bathrooms, come to Handyman. Under the arch on Sun Valley Boulevard, Lincoln.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-345-2789. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-345-2789. 800-345-2789 or biglou.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Bill talks about his experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We had 2 bathrooms. It was from the 1950s. We didn't know what to expect. We were a little skeptical that they could actually do this in that short a period of time. They did an amazing job. Brand new tub, shower, toilet, sinks, cabinetry, flooring, tile, you name it.
Were you happy with the finished product?
Very impressive, and we're just anxious to show it off to people now.
So you'd recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we can probably get a few more miles out of our kitchen, but, when the time comes to do that.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time, Nebraska tipping off 7 minutes from changing history. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Connor Clark, as we're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Reminder about your friends at Ameristar and Penn Play. Get the app and download it today. The Penn Play app, and your chance at $2,000 in Penn cash. We have life as Florida is at the free throw line, and I just jinxed it. They're down 3 with 20.
Down two with 20 seconds left. They're going to try to get some defense here. Colorado breaks the half-court line.
Foul.
And
for the love of God, foul.
We also have Auburn down by 3 to Yale with 33 seconds left.
Really?
Some fantastic games going down here before Nebraska tips off.
Gotta love the madness. Husker baseball up 7-0. The Husker women gonna roll in Corvallis. The Fighting Markowskis are off to Corvallis. So, hey, it's been fun. If you missed any part of the show this week, we encourage you to check out Hail Varsity Radio podcast forums, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. You can rewatch the show on the Hail Varsity Radio Twitter handle at HVarsity Radio. Subscribe and like. Tell a friend about the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. That's where we live stream the show every day video-wise. Of course, the Hail Varsity Radio Network. You can always catch and follow the show as well on KFOR, Facebook, and Twitter. And our friends at AM 590, Omaha's ESPN. I'm back up here tomorrow with Uncle Nate. We're going to go check out both ball games at CHI, the 5:30 and 7:30, Duquesne and Illinois, and then Iowa State and Washington State.
Something happened.
So you hear the roar from the sports book.
What do we miss, Connor?
I don't know. I have Yale.
Florida
Auburn
did
up.
something.
Florida deep three to tie it with 9.5 on the
Parlay
clock.
is alive and well.
Parlay is on life support, as you have many fellow Florida fans, the Fighting Ben Sasses of the room, are cheering for the Gators. And it's more so they don't like Colorado.
Wow.
That's the juice. That's the energy here, man. It's fun.
Colorado with a chance to win. They called timeout with 6 seconds left.
Man, give me OT. Give me OT and push the 6 o'clock tip back to 6:30.
Would they do? Is this on? This is Yale Auburn's on TNT. So that's the one that we are waiting on. That game has to wrap up before
That
Nebraska
could also
going.
very well go into overtime. So I don't know.
75-74 now. Auburn down by 1.
33.6 ticks left in that one.
Okay. So weekend edition is tomorrow. Find us at 7:45, the Hail Varsity YouTube channel.
Man, I hope that's a happy show.
It'll be a good show. It'll be a good show. It'll be a fun show. Excited about it here. Justin keeping us up to date. And Tuck. Tuck is like, I know I was part of this parlay taking Nebraska money line, but there's so many Nebraska fans that feel like their heart could be broken tonight. Go play well. I think they will. I just worry about it.
Jeff nails it though in the stream. He says if Nebraska wins tonight, you guys will be late as usual.
Not on the board here at Ameristar is will the Hail Varsity Weekend Edition start early,
minus
on time,
320.
or late? Minus a G to win 100. About starting at 7:45. Mark Kranak tomorrow morning. Elijah Herbal tomorrow morning. Brandon Vogel tomorrow morning. Our friend Sharpie.
Oh, Colorado wins it.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're burning up the parlay.
Wow. It hit the rim 3 times and then fell in. That sucks. All right, we'll talk tomorrow.